Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Adoptions from the Heart TV. I'm your host, Amanda Aliberti. Today we are honored to be sitting with Emily. She is a current social worker out of our Central PA location at Adoptions from the Heart, and she also happens to be an international adoptee through our program, which is just amazing in itself. So let's chat with Emily.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
24.
You're 24 and you were adopted from which country?
Russia.
So you went through our Russia program. Okay. So you lived growing up in Pennsylvania?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. When did you become aware of your story? Did you ever hear about Adoptions from the Heart when you were growing up? Do you have any memories of any of that?
Wow. Well, so I found out about my adoption, I don't really have a day or a time. Sure. Because it was just kind of something that I've already known.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's how it should be.
Yeah. There was never really a set, moment. Yeah, there wasn't a set moment. There wasn't even a set way that I remember I was told. There was just always that idea hey, you're from another country and we went all the way we went so far to go get you, and it was always a really open conversation, and we always celebrated Russian Christmas along with traditional American Christmas. So that was always something that kind of tied oh, I am a little different. We have a whole holiday for me. So that was really helpful. But as far as memories of the agency, funny story, my mom worked for this agency back, I don't know, maybe 2006, 7, maybe 8, I don't know. Somewhere in there. She worked for the agency for several years. And so I have a lot of memories of Marilyn and Stephanie and just the whole Central PA office, really. So to be working here now is awesome.
Well, when did you decide that you wanted to enter the field of social work? And obviously you have the personal connection to adoption, being an adoptee, but what made you realize that this is the space you see your career going in?
Well, I originally went to be a nurse, and that just didn't go well. I'm not a big bodily fluid person, and I realized that very quickly. So I came home from college and I was having a life moment with my mom, and I was like, Mom, I don't know what I want to do with my life. And she was like, well, do you remember when I worked at Adoptions from the Heart? And I was like, yeah, I do. She was a PAA, but she was like, you remember Marilyn and Stephanie? And I was like, yeah, I remember Marilyn and Stephanie and the pink house and all of that. And she was like, well, they're a social worker, and that's a very broad career, and you don't have to work in adoption, but you could work in any field. And I was like, well, maybe I'll look into that. So I did, and I went to school, and now I'm here at this agency. I had a couple temporary jobs before this one, but this definitely feels more like a permanent position.
Social work is a very broad field, but what is your connection to it? What is your goal of why you want to be a social worker?
Well, I want to give back. I see all the work that Marilyn and Stephanie put into even my adoption. Or Stephanie wasn't quite there yet, but she was in the making. But I see all the work that is put into certain jobs. Adoption being one, and one that's really near and dear to me. And so just really being able to give back to people that put time and invested into me. Sure. I think is really important, because obviously we need that to keep the world going. Yeah. And I think social workers are just really special people, because they deal with a lot, but also they help people through a lot of situations that not everybody can do. We're counselors, but we're also we're counselors, but we're also teachers, and we can be babysitters. We can be just a little bit of everything. And I think it's really cool it's a really cool career to be in, and really rewarding.
Well, and I'm sure you have had the privilege of seeing Marilyn in action, Marilyn and Stephanie, and the gift they have of being there for their clients and helping their clients navigate really tough moments in their lives. Adoption is obviously a very unique sector of social work, but I would imagine you're able to watch how they navigate helping people. And that's like the big umbrella of social work, is really just trying to help people help themselves. And I think that you are in a great position where you're able to work under somebody who not only helped place you for adoption, but she continues to work hard for this agency to help fulfill adoption placements. That's wonderful. What do you hope for the future? Do you see yourself, staying in this field of adoption? What are your expectations?
Yeah, so I mean, as far as right now, I would love to continue my career in adoption. Obviously, I'm open to almost anything. I've been a counselor before, and that was pretty cool. But I will say, just being strictly a social worker, and not having to have that constant one-on-one, is definitely nice. But I do see adoption being a long-term thing for me, just because it's been a part of my story ever since I was born. So why not just keep it going?
Well, that's wonderful. Well, we're grateful to have you. I think it's always great when staff here have that personal connection to adoption. It just makes you, in my opinion, more passionate about what you're doing because you've lived it. You've had that experience. You'll be able to connect with other adoptees and be able to share in that community feeling of adoption. So thank you for joining our team. We're honored to have you, and we look forward to the future. Thank you. Thanks so much, guys, and tune in for future topics.